Hi traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So in this episode, we are beginning with VIX 100 1S, and as always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame. So as we can see from here, price has been buying. However, we formed an indecision candle, and then the sellers stepped in at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark my supply zone. We have tapped into a supply zone right there, and we are getting some rejections at that point. We are getting some rejections, and then down here we have our demand zone right there. So our bias is very clear from the weekly time frame. If we can see prices moving from the supply headed to the demand zone. Therefore, this week I'll be looking for selling opportunities from the supply until at this demand zone. So that's pretty much it from the weekly time frame. Heading over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we can see that that was the last break of structure. That was the last break of structure to the upside before price stepped into that supply zone. So we have a break of structure right there. And then we have a change of character here where structure was broken. As you can see, we're forming higher highs and higher lows to the upside. However, a new trend has started to form where we broke this higher low. So sellers are starting to step in at this point. So we have a change of character right there. So we have a change of character to indicate that the sellers are coming into the market, and then the order block, which caused this change of character, is right there, which was mitigated into getting a push to the downside. So that is the order block. So that's pretty much it from the daily time frame. And then if we go over to the 4 hours time frame, so from the 4 hours, we can clearly see our break of structure right there. And then the change of character. If we adjust it to the 4 hours, it's going to be right there. That is where price stepped in, and we are getting a push to the downside. So the change of character happened at that level. In the 4 hour time frame. And then right now we have price reacting from that order block right there. So price is reacting from that order block right there, and we have a break of structure right there. So for us to position for a sell on VIX 100 1S, I need to see price breaking this low. So I'm waiting for prices. You can see price is currently pushing down. Price is currently pushing down. So I'm waiting to see a break of structure before I can place my setup. So heading over to the 1 hour. So from the 1 hour time frame, we can see that all this is already played out. So all this has already played out. So we are not working with structures that have already played out. Therefore, I'm going to wait, as currently there is no setup here. We are going to wait for price to give us this, to break this low, to give us a break of structure. So this is what I'm waiting to see happen. I'm waiting for price to break this low to the downside, and then go over for a retest or mitigate my order block. And then I'll join the trend. That is the only way I'll be able to join the trend right now, because as you can see, there is no uh instant execution or a buy limit for me to place. I need to see this happening first before I'll be able to trade. So this is what I'm waiting to see on volatility 101 is for it to break out of this resistance, go in for a retest, and then I'll enter, and then I'll follow the trend. As currently we are bearish on VIX 101S. And then if we go over to volatility 100, volatility 100 from the weekly time frame, we can see that price has been pushing. We have been selling. We have been selling from this demand zone, from this supply zone. So from this supply zone, we have been selling. As you can see, price is still pushing down to our demand zone right there. So my bias for this week, it's very clear from the weekly time frame. As you can see, price is pushing from the supply zone headed to the demand. Therefore, I'm gonna place selling positions until price gets to this demand. So our bias is clear from the weekly time frame. We go over to the daily time frame. We can see that we're having a healthy downtrend where price is forming lower lows and lower highs. And we can see that was the last break of structure. That was the last break of structure to the downside. So that was the last break of structure, and then price mitigated our order block, went back in to mitigate our daily order block right there. And then that's it from the daily time frame. If we go over to 4 hours, if we go over to the 4 hours, we can see that this move is still not complete because we've just went in for a retest. However, this low has yet to be cleared for the move to be complete. Therefore, this is what we have. So as we can see, we had a break of structure and then price went back in to go and mitigate the order block, and there was liquidity that was sitting here, trend line liquidity that price swept to go and tap in there. And then as we can see, this move is not yet complete. It will only be complete once price breaks this low down here. Once price breaks this low, and then we can be able to, we'll have a possible setup. As of now, that's what's happening. If we go over to the 1 hour, since price has not completed this move, let's see if we can catch these remaining pips before price can get to our level, which is this swing low down here. Because the move is yet not completed, we are still pushing down from here. As we can see, price has just reacted from this order block right there, and we are pushing down. Price has just reacted from that order block, and there is a break of structure right there. There is a break of structure, and then price went back in for a retest. Let's see if we can enter this move because we are still at this order block. We are still at that order block. As you can see, price is already rejecting. We are forming a bearish engulfing. Let's go to the M30 if we can try to see if we can get an instant execution. If we can get an instant execution from M30, because currently price is at a good resistance level. So for this one, it's gonna be an instant execution. As you can see, price has just broken structure, it cleared liquidity, went back in to go and retest, and it formed a tweezer top, that is a reversal candlestick to indicate sellers are ready to push the price down. So you can go ahead and enter. This is an instant execution. Enter at the current market price, and then with your first take profit, at that swing, at that low, and then your second take profit is going to be at that level. So this is an instant execution from the M30. Everything is playing out. So we have a tweezer top at my order block there, and then price is pushing down. Go ahead and enter, and then with your stop loss slightly below above the order block at 906.52, and then your first take profit at 856.85, and then your second take profit at 811.45. All right, traders, that's it for this episode. That's how I do my weekly top-down analysis. If you did enjoy or find this episode helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and become part of the family. And see you next week. Happy trading.